It's now my pleasure and honour and privilege to give the floor to Elena Santiago Cid, who is, of course, Director General of CEN-CENELEC, our host today, to formally bring proceedings to a close. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I must say that I'm really emotional about the event today. I think that 2 days ago, I made a tweet. I was very excited about the conference, to learn about the 500 registrations we had. And I wrote something that really came from my heart. I said, so much to give, so much to learn. And I believe that this has been the tone of the day. Everybody has been given a lot, and at least me, and I hope this is also the case for all of you, we have learned a lot. So, this worked like that. I would like to share with you some of the things that I have learned today. Innovation is hard work, and standards are also hard work, believe me. Today we have seen enthusiasm, we have seen vision, inspiration, dedication, and without any doubt, a lot of challenges to drive innovation. The gap from the idea to make it happen in the market, it's not very tangible. And it's sometimes very blurry to see how this is going to happen. We are convinced in the standards community that standards can bridge the gap. We need to build on today's discussion. We need to build on the contacts. We need to build in the network of excellence that we have in Europe. And we really have the inspiration and the ambition to become your innovation bridge. Reflections on today. I think we have seen a very nice video. We had nearly 400 people coming to the event from business, from research, from academia, from different authorities, and from the standardization community. ESO, CEN-CENELEC, NSB, the members of CEN-CENELEC. And I think we were eager and willing to share our vision about standards and innovation. This is the first CEN-CENELEC event in this topic. We decided that it was very important to have a keynote speech from business, because we believe that, and we have had a lot of discussions this morning about that there is an ultimate goal regarding innovation, and that is to reach the market. And we need to learn to use standards to innovate. We need to learn about the innovation life cycle in the standardization community. There had been discussions about innovation policy for industrial technologies. And we had these 6 focused breakout sessions that we have heard right now. And something that I believe was very impressive, because again, it's the first time that it happens in the standardization community, in the European standardization one. We had 20 research projects that were willing to show us that were linked with the standardization and that have been outside sharing their experience. How did they use standards and how did they link it with their innovation? In the morning, we heard about successful innovation for industry, and we had a few challenges also in front of us. The role of a standard to address those challenges. We heard about the European invasion, if I remember well, and the innovation life cycle. Idea generation, basic research. Incubation, applied research. Acceleration, market access. standardization, market application. And we know quite a lot about market application, but there are still 3 chapters that are pending subjects for us. We also heard about key enabling technologies where standards indeed can play a much bigger role than they play today. The afternoon, we explored together, and I really would like to highlight the word together, what standards are and what standards are not. And that is very important. I don't know if any one of you has been participating in the Standards Day in CEN-CENELEC, but we always address what standards are not. We discussed about the role of standards in the innovation cycle, who is involved in the standards making process, who can be involved, and anybody can be involved in the standards making process as long as they are willing to contribute to it. How integrate standardization in research projects, and we really need to make this effective and efficient. How to access markets with standards. Standardization as a strategic tool, and again, this is something that I think we need to put a lot of emphasis, because I feel can be the same also in the research community. This is a commonality. Many of the CEOs of companies have got their business strategy. And then there is a team that is dealing with research, with innovation, with standardization. And in most of the cases, the business strategy and the standardization activity is not connected. So we are really losing a great asset to be more competitive and to make a much better use of the knowledge that we have in Europe. So this is something in which we need to work much harder to bring the strategic aspect, the strategic value of research and standardization to make Europe more competitive. We spoke about the toolbox to transfer knowledge, and I really like the word. It was used this morning, and I must say in CEN-CENELEC we are using toolboxes in the last years quite regularly, because maybe people feel closer to a toolbox than to a standard. And at the end of the day, standards are instruments and toolboxes, and the interplay between patents and standards. Let's go to the future, because I wouldn't like that you leave this room and say, okay, another conference, hello, goodbye, and it was nice. I have a lot of advice that I have noted during the event. It's going to be a challenge to implement, but I am a doer, and I'm really committed to do my very best to fulfill the expectations. Someone told me today also, we have raised the expectations. Now we have to meet the expectations. And that's why we are here, to describe together and define together how we are going to meet the expectations. So we have to bridge platforms. We have to have early contacts between researchers and standardizers. For instance, in Horizon 2020, in the priority fields, there are a lot of standardization activities that can help to enable in industrial technologies, secure, clean, and efficient energy, demand-side innovation, service innovation. I'm sure that we can bridge platforms to get much better interaction between researchers and standardizers. Promote researchers' participation in standards. I think it has been repeatedly said today. Explore ways, and I think Peter Churchill is going to like that, explore ways to give more recognition to contributors. This is something we must do. Encourage standardization experts in research activities. Is raising the innovative capacity of our technical committee experts. Synchronize standardization and research projects cycles. Again, this is something that has been repeated in the panel. We need to find the appropriate time to make the link and to introduce standardization activities in the research project and timely deploy the innovation result in the market. Identify entry points for research into standards. We need really to clarify the interfaces because I don't think there is a clear understanding of that. We need to link a standardization policy and patent policy. We have lived so far in the CEN-CENELEC world in a quite an easy patent-related world. And patent policy, I have said also several times today, is coming at meteoric speed in the standardization community. We need to be ready. We had to be ready before, so no time to waste on have a very good interface between a standardization policy and patent policy. Education about the standardization. I'm going to repeat. Education about the standardization. We have been working in the last years about how we can build in the different levels of education from very little children to academia, university, what are the values of working in standardization. Sometimes I give an example. I say when you have to explain to a little kid what standardizers do, I think that there are so many values in the standardization community because one of the things that we do to build consensus is to share knowledge. You meet, you share your knowledge, and then you have to accept that there are some friends, colleagues, other boys or girls that may have better ideas than you have. And then between all of us, build the consensus. The values of standardization can help us from primary school. And indeed, for the professionals, we need to start integrating all those values in applied science to know that standards are a very valuable instrument for engineering. It's a very valuable instrument for economics. It's a very valuable instrument for the legal field. All these need to be learned before, not once you are confronted with the standardization or the reality of the market. And overall, and I think someone mentioned that also this morning, what we need in the standardization community is an overall cultural change. I think Ruggiero has mentioned we have to introduce innovation in standardization. And I fully share that opinion. We must change not only the perception that standards are not sexy. We have to have the capacity to adapt timely to evolving needs. This is a challenge, and I think this is a challenge for the research community, for the innovators, and certainly for the standardizers. So something must happen that can make our minds adapt it much faster and introduce an evolving culture that can support our market and our society. So I think I have a lot of homework. I think we all have a lot of homework, but it would be a pleasure to work together to do this homework. I don't want to finish without thank all of you for your time, for your participation and your contribution, for your enthusiasm, to the speakers, to the delegates, to the projects for making this happen, to the CEN-CENELEC members that have been very much involved in the preparation of this event, to the CCMC staff that I can tell you, I told my director of innovation, it's a big success, but it can be a big failure. So you better make it a real success the day of the conference. So Ashok, the pressure is relief. And I also would like to thank Jackie, because she has been really leading us with a lot of fun and energy during these hours that we have been together. And those that have contributed to the Bridge the Gap project, that in fact is the incubator of the conference today, where we identified the need of raise awareness about how standards can be your bridge for innovation. So I really would like that this event is the launchpad to strengthen bonds, to increase communication, to increase mutual understanding on how we can innovate with the standards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Elena. Thank you so much. And thank you to you and your team for a great day. A lot of hard work, as you said, went into the preparation of it, and that's what paid off. Thank you. If I could just add my thanks to all our speakers today, this morning, our panelists, to the moderators, the speakers in all the sessions, but most of all to all of you for not only being here, but contributing your thoughts and ideas that have given Elena so much homework to do. And it only remains for me to wish you a very enjoyable evening and a safe journey wherever you're going. So thank you very much, and goodbye.